Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So, Sean, lots and lots going on. Sorry I missed yesterday, my man. I got hung up in some of this Chi-Town traffic. So hard to get through to you, in the words of Jimi Hendrix, but it just kind of worked out that way yesterday. I got stuck in traffic, and just not a damn thing you can do about it when the car in front of you is going like, a third of a mile an hour.
Yeah, I know that feeling every day going to work. It's just, if you get behind the wrong person, forget about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like our bets. Get right behind the wrong person, forget about it, right? Last night, I got off to a good start, 2-0 in the NBA, and only watched I should have just bet my football picks. I put on the site to lean the Giants and lean the under. Should have just went the under and went the Giants, called it a night.
Yeah, and I don't know how many weeks was it? Like 3 in a row? I keep thinking Kansas City's not turning around. And
yeah, that's what you keep saying, that they're going to have a statement game. I don't know what kind of statement they're trying to make.
What's funny is I said about the trick plays and everything else in that first drive, they came out, they were doing all kinds of trick plays. They looked like the old Chiefs, and then they turned the ball over. And then that was the end of that.
Yeah. What's up, Drew? I don't know, man. I just feel like they're broken. That's it. There's something wrong there. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong there. Kelsey looks disinterested, fumbling the football away. They're not even targeting him. Maybe he's on the sidelines, pouting because he's not getting as many looks as Tyreek. But come on, dude, you're not as fast as Tyreek, so that's why. Make a couple big plays and the ball will come your way. You can start doing your silly dances again.
It's just funny how they figured out the Chiefs by protecting against the big play. How did they only figure this out now?
I think it runs deeper than that, Sean. I don't think it's just the big play. It's a lot of things aren't going right for them. So I just feel like they're impatient, and that's the problem. They're not willing to take. That's the beauty of Brady. Brady will take whatever you give him. If it's 5 yards, I'll take 5. If it takes me 20 plays to go score a touchdown or 2 plays, I'll cut you however you want to be cut. You just show me where you want to be cut, and I'll cut you there. Some of these other guys, they just, they don't want to let the game come to them. They want to force the game, and I feel like that's the difference between greatness and good, or better than good, and then just everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know how many times the last 3 weeks, especially in the red zone, like last night, Mahomes tries to force it in there. The ball gets popped up in the air and forget about it.
Yeah, just take what's available and move on, right? That's the key that you want to go there, right? The Bengals, what a joke. Yes, they kind of played poorly. And I did kind of call that one out on Sean's. I had a good weekend, though, in the NFL. I was undefeated. On Thursday, I won. I won all my games on Sunday. I should have bet last night. The only game, of the two I would have only taken would have been the under, because the other part was a little bit too close for me. But in any case, Sean,
I will say about the Bengals real quick. The Bengals didn't play awful. The Jets just showed up. They were motivated with Mike White.
Can I tell you something? If you lose to the Jets and Mike White, you played awful. I don't care how you try to spin it.
You know what? White played awesome. I mean, we'll see what he does.
If White plays awesome, you played awful.
You know what it proved? The Jets do have weapons. They just need somebody to be there to get it to them. And Mike White did that.
It proved that there's a such thing as a letdown in the NFL. I didn't think there was, but there apparently is.
Yes, absolutely. Indeed. That was set up for that, yes.
So let's see if there's a letdown tonight in Major League Baseball, Sean. The World Series can end tonight. You and Drew can celebrate along with a couple of others. If Atlanta wins, they're getting plus 110 on the road, Sean. This game, I feel like the momentum swung in that last game pretty heavily. The Braves got up 4-0 and subsequently gave up those 4 runs and lost that game and lost the first game of the playoffs at home. They just, I really feel like the pendulum has swung heavily in Houston's favor.
Yeah, I do feel that way. And Fried has not pitched all that great the last couple starts, so I'm worried about that. So I also can't take the Braves even if I did like them, because if I do, they're definitely going to lose, and I'm not going to jinx them again. So
why don't you take Houston? You can have the best of both worlds. You can win your money if the Braves lose, and if the Braves win, you get a plus line and a championship.
No, that's the lesson I've learned. I've done that now twice with the Jets against the Titans and the Bengals. I throw them on a parlay against them, and then my own team burns me. I'm just going to stay away from this.
I'm trying to give it to you both this time.
Yeah,
so you can win. You win no matter what happens, Sean.
Yeah. I'm going to stay away from the game, but I am very concerned in exactly what you said. But I think it definitely. I'm leaning Houston here, but you never know.
Yeah, Houston's taking 60% of the tickets and 70% of the money. It's a 50-50 game, Sean, and you know me. I'm a big fan of 50-50 games if you're getting a plus line. Houston just scores too many runs at home relative to what the Braves score at home. This is going to Game 7, and I feel like the Braves fans are going to be looking down the barrel of a massive choke, unfortunately.
Hopefully not. I mean, Ian Anderson should pitch Game 7. That's what we'll go with if they don't get it done tonight.
No, I'm just letting you know. That's how I feel, Sean. As far as the next thing on the board, we got some NCAA football. Sean, 3 games tonight. This is why I had to delay the show a little bit. I didn't realize there was NCAA football. I had to quick go through all that stuff, Sean, and it takes a while to get it done. So first game on the docket, just a barn burner. I mean, I think you got – isn't tonight the night they're going to release the BCS stuff too, right?
The first playoff?
I think tonight's the night. So I'm not sure what's more exciting, the BCS release or Akron versus Ball State.
Well, it's not the BCS anymore, but yeah, the college football.
Oh, whatever college football playoff. Are you in? All that nonsense? Yes, go ahead. Who do you like?
So which one are we going with here?
We're going to go with Ball State and Akron. I mean, we're going to go for the battle of whatever that is.
I think that's too many points for Ball State here, giving up. So
you can get 20.5, Sean.
I would lean Akron. I'm not going to make that official, but if I had to go one way or another, I'd go Akron here.
Well, I am going to go Akron, Sean, because I do think it's too many points. I hate college football, though, because it hasn't been too kind to me this year, although of late I've been much better. Once all the data starts to come in, it's a little bit more reliable now. So I feel like I have Akron covering this game I have Ball State winning by about 10 to 15 points. That's not 20.5. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lock it in. You know, that's other TV show. I probably shouldn't say that. We'll probably get sued. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in. How about that? Yeah, that can get me in probably some trouble too. Let's just go ahead and say I'm going to take Akron plus 20.5 for minus 110.
Yeah, I agree. You know, a lot of these teams, Ball State's not used to being a 20.5 point favorite. And when they're not used to it, they usually don't cover those spreads. So you get Akron at home and you get a ton of points. I would definitely go that way on a
Akron
Tuesday
at
night.
home with a ton of points. That's kind of like if everything else fails, you take, what was it, Notre Dame or whatever you're picking?
It was Cleveland. Yeah,
yes. I feel that's another Seanism. Well, even at minus 20.5, almost 85% of the money is on Ball State. So I'm definitely on the weak side again. I'm running to the short side of the field on this one, Sean, in terms of that. The total in this game, Sean, is 57 to 58. You pick a number. What do you think?
Yeah, I would probably lean the over, but I'm not touching it.
You're thinking about the over. Well, if I look at this game right here, Sean, according to my calculations, for whatever they're worth, the game goes under by about a field goal. So that's not enough for me to contend with. Next up on the block, Eastern Michigan versus Toledo. Another battle of the Titans. Sean, speaking of the Titans, how about that? Derrick Henry out for the year. Adrian Peterson, everybody right now, if you can make a bet, it would probably be 1 to 1,000 that Adrian Peterson's number one on everybody's waiver claim list.
Yeah, probably, but I can't imagine he does all that much, but we'll see. I mean, Adrian Peterson seems to be the fall guy. As soon as somebody gets hurt, he's the guy stepping in.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't go after like a Devontae Booker with the likes of Saquon Barkley coming back, or even like a Boston Scott out of Philadelphia, a guy that they probably could have gotten for a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, who I feel like is a little bit younger, a little bit more. He's definitely in game shape. He showed in the last game he can run the ball well, and I think he's more of a kind of runner than Derrick Henry is than old slow Adrian Peterson. But anyway, so at the Eastern Michigan Toledo game, Sean, anything you like there?
I think Toledo wins, and they might cover the giving up 9, but I'm not going to take them officially.
I do agree with you that Eastern Michigan is probably going to lose, but I think the game's going to be pretty close, Sean. 9.5 is too many, but I'm not getting a big enough spread to go ahead and make that play. The total in that game, Sean, is 53.5. You got any inclination as to what you might do there?
I don't, but I would think you would go Toledo over. One of these, you go Toledo team over, you go Eastern Michigan under, because that's where I think your going to get it here. Eastern Michigan likes to pass, and Toledo's got a pretty good pass defense.
So if you feel like Eastern Michigan's going to go under and Toledo's going to go over, and then you don't play the game, that don't make any sense.
I'm just saying if you're looking.
A lot of times you do that. I mean, a lot of times you don't make sense to me, but that really doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying if you're going to do it,
being Sean. All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to play either, but that's how I would have done it. Like I said, I would lean Toledo giving up the points. I just wasn't making that official. I'll make the next one an official bet.
The majority of the tickets are on Eastern Michigan in their passing game. That's going to go under, but a couple of pennies more than half are on Toledo covering. And so smart money, so to speak, is riding the Toledo. What are they, the Flash or something? Miami of Ohio. Apparently, Sean has a play here. So let's just find out what it is.
I'm going Ohio in the points. Ohio's only got one win, but they've lost a lot of close games so far this year, and they're at home. And Miami of Ohio is, again, another team you're not used to giving up a lot of points and covering. So I think a touchdown at home is safe here with Ohio.
So you're going to take Ohio with a touchdown and points. I have actually Miami winning this game and covering the game by about 2 points. So I think Miami can win by about 10, Sean. So you're going to get you want the points, so you're going to take 7.5 for -110. The total in this game, Sean, is 54 points. Any idea what's going to go on there? Or it's actually dropping. So you can 52. Yeah. Looks like people think the game's going to go under.
That's where I would lean to. Just not a lot of offensive firepower here. Ohio is one of those teams. They can move the ball, but then they get stuck in the red zone or something, and they're kicking field goals. So at 54, it was almost a play. It was like a half a point away from a play for me, but the line coming down, it's absolutely not a play. So in college football tonight, Sean is taking Ohio and the points, and I'm taking Akron and the points. So all things Ohio. We just skipped over Toledo. So does everybody else. I mean, what the hell is there to do? I would say Toledo is a win. I'm just not sure about the 9.
So play the money line for like 5,000.
Yeah, no. But I would throw them on a parlay if you want to do that. But other than that, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. All right. So next up, so looking at the game itself, though, Sean, most of the money is backing Miami of Ohio, over 70 cents on the dollar. Thinks that Miami of Ohio is going to beat just plain Ohio. So what are you going to do about that? Right?
All right.
How about Henry Ruggs? Yeah, that's sad. That is beyond sad. Poor kid.
You don't want to.
I mean, at the same time,
rant, do you?
At the same time, though, I mean, you got money, right? Lots of money.
They have a hotline they can call, and they'll come pick them up, and I don't even think it costs them anything. I mean, how stupid do you got to be?
Well, I mean, I don't want to criticize the kid because everybody's been in a spot where they've done things they know they shouldn't have done without any consequences. This happened to be a time there were consequences for him. But the thing is, you got cash. Call an Uber, have a friend drive you home, do whatever you need to do. Like you said, call the 800 number. And not only that, but the people around him. I mean, you're not drinking or getting, I don't know if he was drinking. They just said he's intoxicated. So he's high on something. Somebody was around him. I highly doubt he was sitting off in a corner like a hobo, getting stoned out of his mind on his own and then just jumped in his car. There were other people around him who supposedly care about him, right? Mm-hmm. If you care about the dude and you know he's in a situation where he can be generationally transform the financial picture of your family and those around you, you don't let a dude like that get in the car, even if you got to tackle him to the ground. You know what I mean? Even if you got to call the police on him, you don't do that.
Yeah, and apparently what I was reading, the state laws there are basically he would face, if he's guilty, he's facing 2 to 20 years, and
he's going to go to jail.
Yeah, there'll be jail time. There's no like probation or anything else that they can do for that. So if he's guilty, he's going to jail.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that, he was at the scene. He stayed at the scene. He told the officers he did it. I commend him for that because the young man has a lot at stake. I hope that they take that into account and that the family that he impacted will obviously forgive him. It was not something he clearly meant to do. All right, enough of the preacher stuff. Let's move on to the NBA, Sean. The NBA tonight has a handful of games. Let's see who you like and if you like any of them. First game on the docket tonight, Sean, is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons. The Milwaukee, it's a road team. They're favored by only 4.5 points or 5 or 6.5. You could take whatever you want there, Sean. If you like Milwaukee a lot, you can get -6.5 for +120. I don't know what's going on. That line seems kind of sneaky, kind of scary, weird to me.
Yeah, Chris Middleton's out. I know that. Maybe another player or two. I think Holiday's still out, right? So they got a couple injuries, but you still got Anakapuku, and you got plenty of firepower in Milwaukee. So, yeah, the line scares me. I think Milwaukee covers this, giving up 4.5. It scares me enough to keep me away.
Are you going to do it?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Are you just going to talk about it, or are you going to do it? You're going to have some.
I'm not going to do it.
You're going to show some spine, Sean?
When you say, well, that line looks too good to be true, this is the Milwaukee line here. Looks too good to be true.
That's the line that's like out to scare you. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you look at it and you say to yourself, that seems like a gift, right?
Yeah. I don't care who's out for Milwaukee. They should still beat the Pistons by more than 4.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a gift to me, but then it's not. It just can't be a gift because there's no Vegas don't give you nothing. But I do have this theory, Sean, that there's one game on the board tonight that Vegas puts out there that if you can find it, it's the easy winner, so to speak. I don't think this is it. I think this is the suckers line. They want you to bet Milwaukee because they feel like Detroit's going to cover this game. So I'm going to pass as well because I actually, in my simulations, I have Milwaukee covering that 60% of the time. But where I do think this game goes, Sean, and I am going to put some action, is this game is a line of 212 on the line's moved a lot. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore either then because at 212.
I see 212 on DraftKings yet.
Yeah, can I do that then for minus 110, 212?
Yeah, I mean that's what I got, so it's available.
Yeah, I'm going over 212, Sean. I think the game goes over.
Over
Milwaukee doesn't really play defense, and neither does Detroit.
Yep. You got
it. That's a 10 spot for me. I have the game going over like a high percentage of the time right now in my simulator, but it's a little bit funky because there's only 6 or 7 games into the season. Each team has only played maybe 3 or 4 home games, and because of that, the data is not as deep as I'd like for it to be. So I'm at the total like 90 percentile and above. According to the simulator, there's a 95% chance this game goes over. So we'll see. Game number 2 is Miami and Dallas, Sean. The Miami team is heading into Texas town, and they're actually, the line's moving around here too. They were like a little bit higher favorite, 3-point favorite. Looks like here they're only -1 or -4 or -1.5. Boy, take your pick. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, I see -3. I'll take whatever. I mean, I like Miami here. They've been the better team all year. They're going to be the better team this year. Dallas is just, what are they, 4-2? But they just haven't played all that great.
But they never play great, and they somehow win. If you look at it, that's kind of their like MO. They just kind of like fumble their way through games, like the LA Clippers. And then when you look at the score at the end of the game, somehow they won. And you're like, how did they do that? You got a fat guy named Doncic who's slower than everybody else on the floor. Somehow gets around everybody, that puts up these moon balls and they go in, and he turns the ball over like 73 times. But then when the game is over, he's got 27 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, a couple of swats. And you're like, how did that fat guy do that?
I actually think he might.
Can we say fat guy, or is that against the rules today?
I don't know. You're being mean to Doncic, but being nice to who the hell were we just talking about? Guy for the race, Henry Ruggs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have it backwards, but
well, I'm just saying he's fat. I'm just making an observation. I'm not a character judgment. I'm just saying he's chubby.
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody not think he's chubby?
What's odd is he hasn't had a triple-double this year yet. Maybe he gets a triple-double tonight. I mean, he's getting close. I think I saw a boost for like plus 600. That might be a good bet. But I like Miami tonight. I think this team, as long as they stay healthy, you got Kyle Lowry now. You've had Butler, who just always has his teams winning. I think this might be the gift. Miami only giving up a couple.
Everybody, whatever you got in your bank account, run right to the window, throw it all on Dallas. Sean just used the G word, and that means guarantee that Dallas wins, covers everything. Even Blake agrees. As far as the money is concerned, Sean, though, 90% of the money is following your lead tonight. So even the little guy is following your lead. Next up on the board is Sacramento and Utah. I have the game for the record too in that spot. The NBA game between Miami and Dallas. Another one going under, but not by enough for me to make a play in there. Sacramento and Utah. I do have a play in this game again on the total. Seems like I'm all over the totals these days. Sacramento and Utah. The total is 220. Sean, wow, it's actually coming down, so that makes me a little bit nervous. But at 220, I have the game. It does have me nervous because I have the game going under. Sean, there's still 222 on DraftKings or no?
Let me see. I clicked the button and I'm out of there. It is 222. Yes.
All right, I'm going to take under 222. I'm happy that it's moving down. So under 222 for minus 110, Sean. I have this game coming in barely over 200 with Utah winning the game about 106 to 99, which means Sacramento is likely to cover, catching 9 points. What do you think?
Yeah, the spread's hard for me. I think this is a good put Utah in a parlay game, but I'm not sure about the 9 points. Sacramento is very competitive and getting better every time out. So
each and every day.
Yeah, I don't think they win this game, but they could be competitive. But I could see it going the other way too. I mean, Utah's really good, especially at home. So I don't like the spread. I do think Utah wins. So.
It's another weird line to me tonight. He's got New Orleans and Phoenix. Phoenix has played pretty terribly all year long, and yet they're an 11 and a half, 13 and a half point favorite somewhere in there. I don't see it, Sean, because they're not playing very well at all.
They're not, but I think last time out or 2 times they played Cleveland, and Cleveland gave them a battle for a while, and then Phoenix ended up covering the spread. So if they can cover against Cleveland, who's played pretty good, New Orleans has played terrible as well. I wouldn't recommend giving up the 11 and a half, but I certainly wouldn't back this horrible New Orleans team with 11 and a half neither. So probably another one, and maybe I'll just do this. I mean, I think they're another one you put on the parlay.
So you're going to have one of those big team parlays, and the Jets are going to screw you up. So here, once again, I've got 2 different lines. DraftKings, I got 214 and a half, and on the board here, it's 216 and a half. What are you looking at on DraftKings, Sean?
I am looking at. Click that again. It is 214 and a half.
I'm going to go over, Sean. In this game, I have them combining for 227 points, with Phoenix beating New Orleans 114 to 113. That late free throw from what's it, Mrs. Kardashian, right? Oh no, what's the girl's name?
Kardashian.
No, the other one. That's not Kardashian. They have a different last name.
Kardashian's the last.
Kylie,
name.
Jenner. Mr. Jenner hits a free throw at the end of the game. You can tell we're old. We don't know these young girls' names, right?
Yeah.
In any case, but I think Mr. Jenner hits a free throw late. Maybe I shouldn't go with the Mr. Jenner thing. I just go with Mr. Booker because some things have changed for Mr. Jenner. LA Lakers in Houston. Sean, what do you think about that? They just played this game. They're going to run it back. Last time the Lakers were a 10.5 point favorite. Houston closed it out in the fourth quarter. And then, you know what's crazy about that game, Sean? I did a 5-game parlay, five pieces or whatever you want to call it, in-game parlay.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I missed was 1 point by Mr. Triple Double, Mr. Westbrook. And I don't know if you saw, there was a viral video of him clanking a shot in that game. That he missed one layup, Sean. I swear to you, point blank by himself. And he just like almost completely airballed the backboard. And I said, what are you doing? That complete airball from point blank cost me quite a bit of money.
Yeah, he is not a great shooter sometimes.
But I mean, he was at the I know. It was a layup. He could have dunked it.
I know. So I had a horror story with that too. They were up like 20-some points. I had like $26 on them to cover the spread. I also had Houston halfway through, like minus under 83 and a half. They were only at like 60 when I went to bed. And then all of a sudden I woke up and both of those bets were gone. I don't understand. You know, it's like the Rams game the other day, like you pointed out, when it was 38-0 and then it ended 38-22 and they don't cover. It's unbelievable. Here I would just add the Lakers to the parlay. I would say they probably cover the spread, but what happened the other day again, if you know what, I will make official the under 219. This game was ugly the other night. I would expect
it was ugly the other night. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron's sisters went out. I know he says his ankle hurts and stuff, so they won last game with them. I think they probably feel like they can win this game without him. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them sits. I know that Anthony Davis fell on his rear end, and he falls on his rear end and he doesn't play the next game. It's pretty commonplace for him. Yeah, so in any case, that's you're going to make that official.
Yeah, under 219. And the parlay that I'll put together here is Utah, Lakers, Suns, and Toledo at plus 114.
All right. So any NHL picks? That's the only other sport tonight besides MLS. And the MLS game to me is too big of a spread for me to take, so I'm not going to play the MLS. But in the NHL, you got a bunch of games, Sean. I'll be ready with some NHL picks next week because they're starting to get to where the data is reliable enough for me to try to bet the NHL again. But otherwise, I'm still going to say bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on hockey tonight. Didn't see any 50-50 games or any games with good value. I mean, there's some big favorites, and the ones that are coin flips are really coin flips. So I didn't like it.
Well, they're all coin flips, really, at the end of the day. But yeah. I feel like maybe Vancouver against the Rangers at home might be a game where you're getting a plus line and a home team that can win the game. Anaheim and New Jersey, yeah, maybe you can get a plus line on Anaheim, but they can lose that game too because they're not all that good. All right, Sean, just to recap your picks, what do you have tonight?
Wow, I only got 2 picks. Well, 3 picks.
According to the Mayan calendar, when Sean only has 2 picks, that's the end of time.
I have 3 because I added the parlay, but still. So I have Ohio plus 7.5, Houston and the Lakers under 219, and then I got the parlay, the Jazz, Lakers, Toledo, and the Suns.
And for me, I don't know what I have, Sean. I know I took the Akron team plus 20.5.
Yep.
I know that I went I have the NBA games. I know that I went with the over in Milwaukee and Detroit.
Yep.
I went the under in Sacramento and Utah.
Yeah, 222.
And I went the over in New Orleans and Phoenix. Is that right?
Yep, 214.5.
Those are my 3 bets on the night. Is that right? 4. Wow, I'm out betting you by 1.
There you go.
Where's that 1-800-HELP number?
Yeah, you got more. So hopefully,
I only bet like between 5 and 10% of my account balance for every game. So it takes forever. The bad thing about that is when I get hot, I don't really jump up a lot. But as I win, I start to increase my increment. But the other side of that is when I lose, I can lose a bunch in a row without absolutely bankrupting myself. So that's why I've been able to play on $45 for almost 2 years now and have put in probably $6,000-$7,000 worth of bets. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yep. Then, I mean, at the end of the day, we try to make a profit, but that's the other thing. You just try to entertain yourself. So,
yeah, just to give me something to do while I'm doing my work at night. So I can look at the computer and either be mad and think the universe hates me or the universe loves me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like that. All right, Sean, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here this Tuesday?
No, hopefully the Braves win tonight, and it's the end of the baseball season. That's all I'm hoping for. And, even the college games, the MAC, it's always
I wish it would be the end of the NHL season, too.
You know what? I'm not a hockey fan, so that wouldn't bother me at all.
I like the game. I just can't figure out who's going to win and why. That's the problem.
I mean, I love the fact of, I think Thursday started 24 straight days of football because now we're starting to get these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games of college football. So
Thanksgiving's really not all that far away anymore.
Yeah.
3 weeks from Thursday, right?
Yep.
Oof, getting ready for that turkey bowl, baby. Got to get the arm.
The only thing that stinks about that, it means college football is getting close to coming to an end.
Well, I need some offensive linemen on my team, Sean. So if you want to head out my way, you can come out here for Thanksgiving for our turkey bowl.
Okay.
All right, folks. If you like what you saw, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe. Like us on Facebook, so when we get live, when Sean socializes, you'll be notified. Same thing with Twitter. If you follow us on Twitter, both at Moneyline Madman, or head on over to the website where Sean will post our picks in just a moment in case you missed it. And then, of course, you can leave your picks and your comments as well. We look forward to talking with you. Is that it, Sean, for tonight?
That is it.
All right, folks, as always, we hope, as our friend said, Carl Broberg, that you stuff your pockets full of cash tonight. Have a great night, and may all your tickets be winners.